Hi, everybody, and welcome to your favorite game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Type 1 edition. I am your host, as always, Jeremy Pettis. I'm joined by our lovely contestant, Dr. Leslie Island. Say hi, Leslie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're very excited to do this and have Leslie be our guinea pig on this show. And so the game is fairly simple. I'm going to grill Leslie with the toughest questions related to type 1 diabetes. And as she gets questions right, she will earn more money, up to, get this, $1 million. And I've been told multiple times we actually do not have $1 million to give her, but we're working out the legal kinks of that. So it's pretty simple. I'll ask her a question. It's a multiple choice answer, 4 choices. If she gets the right question or the answer right, she goes on to the next one to win more and more money. Now, in the unlikely event that I stumped Leslie, she has 3 lifelines that she can use. Get a little help to answer the question. So what are these lifelines? Well, one, she can use what we call 50-50, or what we will automatically eliminate 2 of the wrong answers. She'll have a better chance of getting the question right. That's one. 2, she can phone a friend. So she doesn't know what the answer is. She can actually call somebody to try to get some help. And the last lifeline is where she can actually poll our studio audience here, of everybody here that's here while we're filming, to see if they can help her out with getting the answer. So Leslie, does that make sense?
I'm ready to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully people have seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I remember watching it when, I was a kid, and it was just the hottest show on television, and we're bringing it back now. So let's get into it with the first question that is worth $500. And the question here is, the beloved organization TCOYD is actually an acronym. What does TCOYD stand for? Is it A, taking care of your Datsun? B, traveling with COVID, oh no you didn't? C, throwing Craig out your duplex? Or D, taking control of your diabetes?
I'm going to go D. Final answer.
D. Oh, locked it. We didn't even lock it in. Just went final answer right away. Okay, that is actually right for $500. Congratulations, Leslie. You're on the board, moving up. So, of course, TCOYD, taking control of your diabetes. Dr. Edelman founded this almost 30 years ago now, and it's because of Steve that we're all here doing this, and you're making some money, which once again is not money. I don't want you to get any idea that you just won $500, but we're playing a game here. So let's go to the next question. What's this one worth? $1,000. And the question here is, of all the people living with diabetes in the world, about what percent have type 1? Is it A, 40%, B, 30%, C, 20%, there's a pattern here, or D, 10%?
Okay. It's pretty low. I'm going to go with D, 10%.
Do you want to lock in at D?
I want to lock it in.
Lock it in, Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, D. And... oh, another correct answer for Leslie. So congratulations, 10%. Yeah, that's right. So we always talk about, of course, the epidemic of type 2 diabetes. They make up 90% of the people with diabetes. But guess what? Us type 1s are still, 10%. So it's still fairly common. Some other things to talk about here, because I don't think we bring it up, that this makes me think, how common is it in families? That's something else that comes up. It's important for people to know. So if you have type 1 diabetes, the chance of, a child getting it is about 5% or so. So our kids that we have, kids, the risk of them getting it is about 5%. A better way of saying that is there's a 95% chance that they won't get it. That's something else that comes up when people are thinking about statistics. So congrats there, Leslie, $1,000 kind of in your pocket. Let's go to the next question and see what the question is there. Remember, you haven't used any lifelines yet, which is mind-blowing.
Feeling good.
So let's go to 2,000. Question there. It's all about CGM metrics these days. The time in range, which is glucose between 70 and 180, the goal for most patients with type 1 diabetes, the goal time in range is A, 60%, B, 65%, C, 70%, or D, 75%.
Okay. I talk to my patients a lot about time of range. I feel pretty confident about this answer.
Okay.
I'm going to go with C, 70%.
Locking in?
Locking it in.
Okay, lock it in, Eric. Let's see. Oh, geez, unstoppable, and all lifelines unscathed here. So yeah, so 70% time range. So, make sure to look at this on your, your apps or whatever, see what your time and range is. If you're doing above 70% or hitting that goal, for God's sake, celebrate it. It's not easy to do 70%. But the other way I like to look at this and tell patients is that means that 30% of the time, you don't have to be perfect. And there's, some freedom in that we're not saying that you have to be, at perfect blood sugars all the time. And if you're at least 70% or above, you're in a very safe place. You're a healthy person. You're doing a great job. So be proud of yourself, just as proud as we are of Leslie, who is climbing our Millionaire chart. So that was 2,000. Next question is worth 3,000. Let's go to it. Alcohol has been called the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. With that in mind, which of these drinks is the least likely to raise your blood sugar? Least likely. A, an IPA beer. B, a tequila shot with lime, salt, and 1 fist pump. C, a glass of a buttery Chardonnay. Or D, a Mai Tai.
I think I know the answer to this, but I think I need to call in an expert.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use a lifeline.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna phone a friend.
You're gonna phone a friend. Okay,
Yeah.
and who would you like to call?
I'm gonna call Steve.
Steve Edelman.
Yeah.
Good choice. Okay.
Okay, let me
Go ahead.
get him just a second.
You got his number there?
Yeah,
Okay. Give him a buzz.
okay.
Stand by.
Hello.
Hi, Steve. It's Leslie. I am on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the Type 1 edition, and I am at the $3,000 question. I've done pretty well so far.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I do need your help though. I'm at the $3,000 question and it's about alcohol, and I figured who better to call than you?
Well, if Jeremy put the questions together, I know there's alcohol
Yeah.
involved.
Okay, let me read you the question, okay?
Okay.
All right, alcohol has been called the cause of and solution to all life's problems. With that in mind, which of these drinks is the least likely to raise your blood sugar? Is it an IPA beer, a tequila shot with lime, salt, and one fist pump, a glass of buttery Chardonnay, or a Mai Tai? I really could use your help.
Okay. Gosh. Well, I hang out with Jeremy a lot, and we had an alcohol challenge. There's no question that the tequila shot is the best answer.
Okay. You pretty confident? How confident are you?
I'm very confident.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks.
Well, what do you think? Was that helpful?
Sort of. Yeah, he was pretty confident.
First of all, did you know that he was actually physically here?
No.
I wasn't aware of that either.
I had no idea.
Okay. I wasn't aware. Okay. So,
All right, Steve said B.
and you want to go with B?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, lock it in.
B, final answer.
All right. Let's see. Oh, you and Steve nailed it again. Who would have thought? Oh my gosh. Well, congrats to you and Steve Edelman.
Thank
You're just
you.
tearing this up.
Yeah.
So, obviously we've done, some talks about this. We did our alcohol challenge, and there's a lot of misperceptions or conceptions about alcohol. People make these global statements like it lowers your blood sugar, it raises your blood sugar, but it's really important to know what you're drinking. And actually, surprisingly, hard alcohol has really 0 carbs in it. So when it comes to kind of the most diabetes-friendly thing, it actually is hard alcohol, but the mixers are critical. So if you drink a rum and Diet Coke, that's 0 carbs. But if you drink a rum with all the other stuff that comes in a Mai Tai, juice and soda or whatever, then there's 500 carbs. So know what you're drinking, know the effects on your blood sugar, super important. By the way, just to round it out, what do you think about an IPA beer, Chardonnay? What was your thoughts there?
I think number 2 would be Chardonnay.
In terms of, yeah.
In terms
right.
of lower carb amount, it's probably 5 to 10 grams. Yeah. And then the IPA beer and the Mai Tai, I think it kind of depends on, what's in the Mai Tai. Is it some sugary mix? Do you really know what's in it?
Right.
But probably IPA beer followed by Mai Tai would be the highest.
Absolutely. So it'd be tequila, kind of 0 carbs, Chardonnay, 5 to 10. And by the way, all kind of wines are similar. White wine and red wine, they're actually very kind of diabetes friendly. IPA beers can have 25 to 35 grams of carbs. It's almost like a soda at that point. And then a Mai Tai, like you said, it could be up to 60 grams of carbs. So you can see the variation is it's not just so easy as alcohol does one thing. It depends on what you're drinking. So well done, and good idea to call Steve. Really an expert.
Yeah, I feel
in
really
this
good
area.
about that. Yeah.
So next question, $5,000, and here it is. And important to know for the $5,000 question is this is a level where Leslie will actually win a prize if she accomplishes this. So not only is 5,000 fake dollars riding on this, an actual TCOYD mug is actually riding on this. So here it is. For the $5,000 question, Where do ketones come from anyways? Does anybody know? Is it A, not enough insulin makes carbs turn into ketones? Is it B, not enough insulin makes fat get converted to ketones? C, not enough insulin breaks down muscle into ketones? Or D, golden Colorado?
Okay. I really had a lot of fun with that other lifeline when I called Steve, so I think I'm pretty confident in this, but I think I want to use another one.
Okay, you got 50-50 and pull the audience left.
I'm going to pull the audience.
Okay, so turns out that's a little bit of an interesting choice because our only actual audience member right now is our producer, Eric. So it should really be kind of polling Eric. So let's go ahead and poll Eric. Eric, do you have an answer for this?
B?
So Eric thinks it's B. What do you think?
I don't think Eric knows what he's talking about. But I think he actually might be right this time. So I'm gonna go with Eric. I'm gonna say B.
Not trusting, but also trusting Eric. We're locking in B. Let's see.
I'm trusting myself more than Eric, but I'm gonna say B. Final answer.
Let's see what it is. Oh, and there is the answer. Way to go, Eric. Mostly that was Eric. And a little bit Leslie also. So first of all, Golden Colorado is the home of Keystone beer. It was to throw you off, and I'm glad that you didn't fall for that.
Okay, I didn't.
So ketones, people kind of forget, like what causes DKA? It's actually when we don't get enough insulin, our body starts breaking down fat. And some of that fat is actually turned into ketones, which can be acidic and cause, problems like DKA. So it's really a lack of insulin that leads to ketone production. Ketone production actually has nothing to do with the blood sugars. It's just a lack of insulin. So excellent news for Leslie is that because she got the $5,000 question, she won this limited edition TCOYD mug, which I'm going to go hand it to her. One of two only made because there was not so much a demand of Steve and I here, in our towels. So I'm going to come give it to you, Leslie. Congratulations. No matter what happens today, you're going to walk away with this mug. So make sure to put it in a great place there. You can see there's me and there's Steve. Steve, you just called him.
I got it.
He was here.
I got it.
Okay.
I don't know if this is how I want to start my mornings, but
yeah.
Thank
so
you.
we'll edit that part out because we don't want to talk about that. But anyways, our next question is the $7,500 question. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. And here it is. It sure would be nice to have a cure for type 1 diabetes. Am I right? So what is going on in the world of the quote-unquote cure? Is the answer A, it's right around the corner. B, Vertex has developed beta cells that live in the heart and can secrete insulin. C, teplizumab has been proven to delay the onset of type 1 diabetes. Or is it D, teplizumab can be given in utero to pregnant women to prevent type 1 diabetes? A lot to kind of digest there.
Okay, I wish it was A, but I don't think it's A.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I was told when I was diagnosed 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit longer. Steve was told 10 to 15 years. And
it's been even
been
longer.
50.
I'm going to nix D also, not aware of in utero teplizumab. And I do believe it's C.
Okay. You want to lock it in?
I want to lock it in.
All right, Eric, lock in C. Final answer. Oh, and she nails another one. Okay, this is so crazy. So if you're at home thinking, what the heck is teplizumab? That's a long word. Leslie, can you tell us what that is?
So it is a monoclonal antibody that we're hoping will be approved by the FDA in the next few months for people that have 2 or more positive antibodies and an abnormal fasting blood sugar, and it's been shown to delay the onset of type 1 diabetes.
Yeah. So for people that are at risk of developing type 1, maybe first-degree relatives, you can actually get people tested. If you have type 1 and want to test your kids or brother or sister, you can go to an actually really nice website called type1tested.com, and you can get sent these kits at home to check your blood or do even a finger prick on kids to look for these autoantibodies that tell you might be at risk for developing type 1. And literally right around the corner, maybe by the time this airs in the next month or two, we might have the first approved medication called teplizumab to help prevent or delay the onset of type 1 diabetes. And in clinical trials, it delayed the onset of type 1 on average by about 3 years, but in some people even longer. So this is a real potential breakthrough. And then Vertex and Viasite are companies that are working on stem cells that can become beta cells to secrete insulin, but we're not putting them in the heart. We're actually putting them in little devices under the skin, or actually infusing them into the liver. So a lot of exciting things going on in both those areas. And unfortunately, like you said, it's not right around the corner, but hopefully maybe actually 10 to 15 years. So congrats on that. I see your mug is right on the ground, right next to you, where it should be, close to home. And we're going to go to the next question here, which is for 10,000 somethings. Okay, what statement is true about therapies to treat hypoglycemia? Is it A, liquid carbs like orange juice work faster than glucagon? B, Gvoke glucagon is stable at room temperature for 2 years? C, older glucagon emergency kits can easily be administered? D, Baqsimi is inhaled in a similar way to Afrezza.
Okay. So C, absolutely not, right? You're talking about like the orange-red suitcase that's really, really hard. It needs to be like reconstituted, sucked back up again through the syringe, and no, that's not easy. So this is not C.
Not C.
D, so Baqsimi is a nasal glucagon, and Afrezza is inhaled through the mouth. You don't put Afrezza up your nose.
Okay.
So I'm gonna nix D. So that leaves A and B, and I'm gonna go with B. I think you can leave glucagon to the Gvoke glucagon pen out for 2 years.
Okay. Do you want to lock it in?
I want to lock it in.
Okay, lock it in, Eric. Unfortunately, you got the answer right! Oh my God! That was amazing!
You actually scared me.
So yeah, some things to unpack there. So Gvoke is it's a pen that you can use much like an EpiPen. You can push it down on the skin. You don't see the needle. Very easy way to administer glucagon. You're right. The old kits, we had to it was a powder. You had to inject the fluid into it and pull it back out. Kind of hard to do, especially if somebody's having a seizure or something like that. So thank God we have new glucagon options. Gvoke is one, and the Baqsimi you mentioned is another nasal spray that you can inject into somebody's nose. They don't have to be inhaling it. So the point here is there's lots of new options for glucagon. Everybody with type 1 diabetes needs a prescription for glucagon, so ask about getting a Gvoke pen or the Baqsimi option. Stable for 2 years, both of these actually. So make sure you know where it is. Make sure a loved one knows where it is. And really these should be reserved for times that you can't treat yourself with something like orange juice. So great job there. You got 10,000, So next question. Type 1s have insulin resistance, just like type 2s. When are type 1s generally the most insulin resistant? Is it A, the morning, B, the afternoon, C, the evening, or D, overnight? Insulin resistant. Just means insulin's not working as well as it might usually. Any thoughts there?
I'm gonna go with A in the morning.
Just right away.
Right away.
Just not even gonna talk about it, right?
We're
gonna lock in A. Eric, what do you think?
Final answer.
Oh, that is right. Oh my gosh. We just cannot stump this person. We're losing a ton of money on this. We're very upset. So yeah, everybody with diabetes knows that blood sugars are crazy in the morning, that you require more insulin, and it doesn't help that most breakfasts are generally high carb, like bagels and cereal and things like that. So morning can be a really hard time. So if you notice that you need a lot more insulin in the morning to cover the exact same meal than you would in the evening, you're not alone. So thank you, Leslie, pointing that out. Yeah. Morning, by the way, is a great time to exercise, especially if you're having problems with low blood sugars, because you are more insulin resistant, you're less likely to go low. Yep. So that can be a way to kind of use it to your advantage. All right, next question, which is worth 25,000 yeps. So cardiovascular disease, or CVD, is the #1 killer of us type 1s. Sorry to be grim. Put these things in order of the most to least important to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. You want to control your A, blood sugars being the most important, followed by blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight. B, blood sugars, cholesterol, weight, and blood pressure, in that order. C, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugars, weight. Or D, blood pressure, weight, blood sugars, cholesterol. What is the most important to least important?
Okay, I'm going to go with something that starts with blood sugars. I'm I'm going to go with This is tricky.
I wish you had those lifelines. You
I
can
do.
use your 50-50 if you want.
I wasted it on Eric. I'm going to use my 50-50.
Okay. So we will go ahead and get rid of 2 answers for you. So we are going to eliminate A and B.
Okay.
So that leaves you with C and D.
I'm going to go with C.
C, locking in. Can you lock it in, Eric?
Final answer.
Final answer. Gonna need that mug back, but no, I'm not! Oh my God, we got the answer again! It's C! So that 50-50 really helped you out because, you know, the point here is it actually is not blood sugars. Blood sugars are very, very important to control to reduce your risk of what we call microvascular disease, protecting your eyes, your kidneys, your feet. But when it comes to your heart, preventing, you know, heart attacks and strokes, cholesterol and blood pressure are actually far and away the most important. So the point here is don't forget about these things. When you see your provider, bring up, what are my cholesterol goals? Should I be on a statin? Should I be taking medications for this? In general, if you're over 40 and you have type 1 diabetes, you should be on something for cholesterol lowering, and you need to get your blood pressure down below 140/90, we say. So don't ignore those things. You know, I'm guilty of all the time patients come in, we spend all this time talking about their blood sugars, and then I forget to address their cholesterol or blood pressure. So remember, these things are very important, and they're much easier to treat than dealing with insulin dosing and all those kinds of things. So obviously everything's important, but don't forget about cholesterol and blood pressure. So good job there. Way to go, 50-50. Yeah.
Okay.
So you really could use Eric on that one. That guy's a legend. All right, so next question. For 50,000, yeah. Sometimes I sit by myself and think, man, I wish this insulin would act faster. Which one of these is not a newer rapid-acting insulin? Is it A, Tresiba, B, Afrezza, C, Fiasp, or D, Lyumjev?
Okay. So it's not Afrezza. It's super fast inhaled insulin. Fiasp and Lyumjev, I kind of think are similar, and I know those are faster. So I'm going to go with Tresiba, which is super long acting.
Mm-hmm.
So
lock it in.
A, final answer.
Let's lock it in. It's a lot of alphabet soup there, but you got it right. Okay, so you nailed it. So yes, Tresiba is a newer basal insulin, Afrezza inhaled insulin that not everybody knows about. It works super well. If you haven't heard about it, check out our video vault. It's a lot of ways you can use it. And then Fiasp and Lyumjev are typical insulins, meaning that they come in a vial, that act a little bit faster. So if you haven't heard about them, you can use both of those in a pump. So good options to know about. All right, good job. Still alive, 75,000. There's actually some good news about having type 1 diabetes. All of these statements are true, except which one? So you're looking for the false statement. Is it A, type 1s have less fatty liver disease? B, type 1s, we got fewer wrinkles? C, with well-controlled blood sugars, we live just as long as quote-unquote normies. D, we have a lower risk of osteoporosis. Which one is not true?
I'm going to have to go with B.
B.
Yeah.
Lock it in?
Yeah, locking it in.
Let's see. Well, thank goodness that... Oh, I'm so sorry, because that's actually true. I mean, look at this face. Have you seen this face? Do you see any wrinkles on it? Look at that face. So it actually is something true, that having type 1 diabetes, we have less wrinkles. Something to do with the sugar. It is absolutely true.
What?
So
Okay, but I also...
but we do have a higher risk of osteoporosis. Bummer. But we look good doing it, is the point. But most importantly, I'm getting told by my producers right now that we have a one-time exemption to let you move on. You know, so if you are willing to continue to play this game, we'll let you do it.
I guess.
I mean, just like, we don't have wrinkles. Let's do this. That's a positive thing. But we get osteoporosis a little bit.
Yeah, it's
okay.
true.
So $150,000. Counting carbs is hard. Nobody's good at it, including me. With that in mind, which of these has the lowest amount of carbs? Is it A, a bagel, B, a glazed donut, C, a bowl of Special K, which I have 1.5 cups, or D, 2 bananas? The lowest amount of carbs.
I mean, it depends on the size, but like, it might actually be the glazed donut. Bananas, you know, like 30 grams a piece, bagel, because I think of like 50 50 grams. I'm gonna go with B, the glazed donut.
You want to lock in B?
I want to lock in the glazed donut, yeah.
Okay. That's a ballsy choice. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask my producers again if we can get an exemption on your correct answer! That is so amazing! Reeled her in a good on that one. So yeah, so the point here is that just because something's healthy like a bagel or unhealthy like a donut, doesn't mean that they're low or high carbs. So the glazed donut on this particular list is actually the lowest amount of carbs. 2 bananas, I think, is the highest, 60 grams or something like that. So, and a bagel has a ton of carbs. So just keep in mind, always be mindful of food labels and what you're eating, and these assumptions about what are healthy or not might not be right. All right, next question, 250. Steve and Jeremy share many things in common, but not everything. Which of these is not true, aka false? Rocky Road is their favorite ice cream. B, they got type 1 at the same age. C, they both grew up in California. Or D, they both have beautiful brown eyes. And I'm going to look off camera.
I actually have no idea what color
Stare into my eyes.
All right, I know you both got type 1 when you were 15, so it's not B. I'm pretty sure you both grew up in California, so it's not C. I know nothing about your eyes or Rocky Road. I'm gonna say Rocky Road.
Okay, locking it in?
I'm not confident, but A.
Okay.
I haven't had an A in a while, so I'm also gonna play that multiple choice game.
Okay, so locking in A. And that answer is absolutely. Oh.
Come on.
It turns out that I have beautiful brown eyes, but Steve has blue eyes.
I had no idea.
But we both love Rocky Road. Come on, everybody loves Rocky Road. It's obviously our favorite. We both got type 1 when we were 15. We both grew up in California, but Steve's blue eyes, I'm brown eyes. So, wait, hold on. I'm just getting word that we have a second time exemption. Eric, is this true? To allow Leslie to continue playing this game. Are you wanting to keep going?
Not if I get another mug. But,
okay. Let's go for 500,000.
Yeah.
Okay. SGLT2 inhibitors are drugs that are approved for type 2s, but some of us type 1s use them, and we talk about that in other lectures. We discovered these drugs from what natural substance? Is it A, apple tree bark, B, willow tree bark, C, the ghost orchid, or D, jade vine?
I thought this would be like a GLP-1 Gila monster question.
No, this is
no. I don't know. I don't know what a ghost orchid is. Is that even a thing?
Nobody does.
Can I phone you? Eric didn't count. Can I poll you as the audience?
Yeah, you can pull me.
All right, I'm going to poll you. What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Didn't you make the questions?
I did make these questions. So I think I'll give you a hint, which is another lifeline. It's a bark.
That was what I was torn between, A and B. That's not helpful. Yeah, I'm going to go with B.
B, willow tree bark. Okay, let's lock it in. I think I might. Oh, I'm gonna have to take the mug back at this point. But wait. Okay, I'm getting called from corporate now. They want us to continue the game because people are really excited to see you doing well.
Well, now you're just feeling sorry for me.
Apple tree bark, the point here is that we get drugs from all kinds of substances. So people say, I want something natural. A lot of the drugs that we take actually do come from natural sources, and these medications are an example of that. So, Leslie, for $1 million slash a shirt that I have right here, that has, one on here and everything. This is a really valuable shirt. Just because, put these events in order in which they occurred. This one's hard, I actually forgot about this. Is it A?
No.
World War I, followed by the discovery of insulin, followed by a first pancreas transplant, followed by the man on the moon, followed by the A1C test, or insulin discovered, World War I, first pancreas transplant, man on the moon, A1C test? Or is it World War I, insulin discovered, man on the moon, first pancreas transplant, A1C test? Or is it D, first pancreas transplant, World War I, insulin discovered, man on the moon, A1C test? C. Locking it in.
Final answer.
Are you sure? Yeah, are you sure? Because if I were you, I would think that you haven't said A in a while. Which is a slight variation.
Can you go with A?
It's a flip of the,
Didn't go with A.
Let's see.
Final answer.
I steered you wrong because, you got it right! win $1 million slash this shirt, which is fantastic. So World War I, we got in like 1915 or so. Insulin
I was
discovered
confident about the first two.
1921, first pancreas transplant 66, man on the moon 69, and then the A1C test late 70s, early 80s. So congratulations. Here, I'm just going to toss this to you. There's your shirt. You can wear that while you drink out of your mug. We just want to say thanks so much for being on this episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This is the only episode we've ever done, and you just totally crushed it. So everybody, round of applause for Leslie, and hope you enjoyed doing it. I had fun doing it with you.